So 2016 is when I met you guys. So tell me what you guys remember of 2016.
Not much, honestly. I just remember overdosing a lot, you know, being in like my prime strung out days. And you just would never give up. Like every time I would overdose or even, you know, just random checkups, you would come banging on the doors, trying to get us into treatment, trying to help us. And we weren't ready, so we would hide from you. We would run from you. We would ignore you. We'd get mad because she wouldn't, you know, stop and leave us alone. Well, thank God she never gave up, because that's the reason that we're here today.
So that's when I was in and out of jail a lot. I remember going to prison that year. I remember, you know, being strung out, running from everything, not having no life. When I would get out, I'd be right back in the mix, and then you know, you always tried to get a hold of us and put us in treatment or put us with resources that would help us with our problem. And yeah, we're very grateful for that you never stopped.
So the benefits of working with the Hope Line are just that, you know, we have somebody who's passionate, who's knowledgeable, that's here to work with us as we go out in the community to help people that are in crisis. In the process, we're making our community a better, safer place.
The Heroin Hope Line, they help people with the substance issues. It's just help. It's not like trying to get you in trouble. It's just help to get the treatment started. And it's such a hard thing to do, and they do a great job of it, so we really appreciate them doing that.
I was 42 years old before I touched an opiate.
Wow.
You know, so I had all those years of, you know, being sober and going on vacations and living the good life, having my own car, you know, doing whatever I wanted because we had money and stuff.
I think the main thing with the Hope Line is just the relationships with our officers in the community. There's a lot of people in need out there. You know, when we first started different programs, the officers had a different thought process. They thought, you know, arresting individuals and booking them in the jail was the answer. I think the Hope Line has given us a different direction. And we're finding out that building a relationship with the individuals in the community truly helps in the long term to get them help.
The relationship between the Hope Line and the Middletown Police Department has been invaluable for us as a department and as the community.
It's interesting, I think, to get out in your community and see what's really going on, because it's easy to just drive through your city, but most people are not aware of what's going on right in their backyards.
So tell me a little bit about what was going on at the house, you know, that we didn't see on the outside. We knew what's going on, but what kind of things were happening there? I mean, there was a lot of deaths at the house.
There was deaths, there was ODs at the house. I cannot count how many. Yeah, we were known. They got to the point they called it the trap. I could not count the overdoses.
I remember when I first met Brayden, he was pretty resistant to treatment, and he was like, "You're crazy, I'm not going to treatment." And he had overdosed, and it took 6 doses of Narcan to revive him. And they found him in a car. He was plastered all over the internet, all over the news stations, and his mugshot was shown. And that's when he went into treatment, and he became this rock star treatment guy. He was starting his own business, and he was cutting grass everywhere, and he was speaking at all these events and going to church every week. It's heartbreaking to lose a client that had so much potential, that got sober, that had it down. They had recovery down. And then now we sit here today in memory of him. If Brandon was here today, what do you think he would say about the Hope Line?
That he loved you and Victoria very, very much. When he was sober, he knew what you guys did. He knew what you guys fought for him.
He had such a bright future.
He did.
And if his story being shared can help other families and other individuals to realize how precious recovery is. You know, he had so much time with his family and his girls sober again. And I hope that they can remember those times where he was sober and he was laughing.
Exactly.
And although it had a very tragic end, his story is very powerful. And a lot of people can learn that this is the reality of drugs and alcohol, like addiction. This is the reality of addiction. And We're grateful that we have this Hope Line to go out here and help people, that this doesn't have to be their reality. It does not have to be this way.
It doesn't.
So I feel that the Hope Line has brought into the city less overdoses overall. Since it first started in 2017, we have significantly went down. We were going on 2, 3, and 4 overdoses a day. Now we're going to about 2 or 3 a week. So it has significantly dropped.
I think for each one of us, it's increased our capacity for compassion, and that's something that we're able to pass on to our coworkers. Having more of an understanding of what it's like for addicts, and then being able to communicate that to our coworkers kind of makes a difference in the way that we're treating these patients.
We just automatically knew we are gonna start every week that we go out. Your guys' house was always the very first house we stopped at, and always the very last one that same day.
I had always wanted to get clean. I just kept going to jail and getting out and going back to that house and getting out and going back and getting out. And I knew I had bigger aspirations than this. You know, I got to do something different. I got plans and goals, but I was so deep into addiction, I couldn't even get my head above water to figure out what I even wanted to do. So what the pivoting point for me was just being tired of the lifestyle, knowing I was gonna die.
Before, with the revolving doors, that's what I called it, because we've not really had the resources before to be able to steer them anyway other than going to our local hospital. The difference now is we have more resources available to them if they choose to use it. And I have noticed now that when we do have resources, more resources than just the hospital, people are reaching out.
Being with the sheriff's office out here allows me to be in that moment right when it is happening. Otherwise, I wouldn't have access. So, you know, there's a difference between I can talk to them later or I can talk to them a week later, but if I'm there at that moment when it happens and I can connect with them and then continue my, reaching out, it gives me an advantage, because they realize, well, someone was there besides law enforcement, someone was there that cares.
So today we are taking out lunches and hygiene kits and warming kits to pass out to the homeless. We go to the north side of Dayton, the east side of Dayton, the west side of Dayton, and the goal is to try to talk somebody into going into treatment today. So we take these out every week to build rapport with people in the hopes that one day they'll decide it's time to get off the streets and get into treatment and get some help.
So what I like about the Hope Line is we can reach people wherever they are. This is one place right here, the Justice Center, where we reach a lot of individuals, because you'd think that they're in a safe place when they're locked up, but the truth is they need further treatment getting out. So what makes the Hope Line so powerful, you got people that are in recovery that are passionate about saving lives, and will go to any lengths. We'll reach out to people continuously, even days and weeks down the road where we haven't seen them, maybe we'll reach out again. And this just demonstrates where our heart's at. And when people see that you're authentic and you really genuinely love them and you want to push them forward in their recovery, they respond to that. And the Hope Line is just non-biased. We can literally connect somebody to any resource we need to, because we don't work for a certain entity.
So one of the things that I love about peer support is I am able to use my past and my experiences in active addiction and then bringing it to recovery to relate with these people who have not really been in recovery before or have no idea what's going on. So I'm able to walk with them through it because I've been in their shoes. I know how it feels to be there and the way out.
Anybody can do it. You just gotta put your mind to it. You gotta put your mind to it. And I was as bad as the next person out there. I was picking up cigarette butts off the ground and emptying them out and rolling them up in paper and smoking them, because my life was just that desperate and out of whack, and it was just insane. And I got track marks and scars and stuff from where I messed my life up. But anybody can get clean. Anybody can do it. And I've been in and out of jail my whole life. Don't ever think just you've ruined your life too bad to turn it around.
Never too late.
I've been sober almost 2.5 years, about 2.5 years. My life is the best it's ever been, and I know I'm going to keep going further, and I have goals and I have a future now.
We're not done yet.
No.
We're not done. We're just getting started.